Hi there, welcome to part 2 of my video on how Howdy can enhance your Thinkific student learning experience. In this video, I'm going to show you the second half of the Howdy demo, specifically when you're in a live session, how it works and some of the interesting features that you can take advantage of that really makes teaching live lessons really useful. As I said before, that Howdy is really a differentiator compared to Zoom. It has all the same features such as share screen, chat, and the video layout in terms of the Brady Bunch squares that most of us love seeing. But Howdy is really designed to amplify the video sharing and video conferencing experience by allowing you to reward students points, generate conversation starters, and also to take a large group and split it into smaller rooms. So one of the things I want to mention is that Zoom is really popular, and Zoom is great for video conferencing and sharing screen and webinars. But Zoom also has its own limitations because you do have to download the software, and sometimes some people do experience challenges with downloading the software and then clicking on the link and getting started. So that's where Howdy makes it a little bit easier, not completely 10 times easier, but there is a link that you can send your students. So as you see in this tab, I created my room, and then you can see who's in it. But the point is that this share button here at the top allows you to invite students or other friends, putting in their email. You can copy the link and send a personalized message. You can also post your group session onto LinkedIn, Facebook, or Twitter. So that's the idea of where Howdy is more of a differentiator. It's designed for social sharing, social learning, and this idea of gamification, sort of peer system of rewarding. So as you can see, I have two students in this session, and what I can do is, depending on how they're engaging with this session, I can give them points. And so this button here, it's kind of confusing, but it's a thumbs up button, but that's where you can award points in different categories, from interpersonal skills, creative thinking, leadership, collaboration, knowledge, and communication. So every time that this session occurs, I can give students points in each of those categories, and then Howdy will track it here based on the different groups, how many points there are. And then it'll kind of show you what sessions are also happening at the same time. And the idea is when students are seeing like their peers getting more points, it might motivate them to be more active participants. If you are familiar with online learning, sometimes a lot of students really just turn their video off, they turn their audio off, they're not as fully engaged as you would like them to be. And so maybe this idea of rewarding points might be really a good way to motivate and encourage students to be more active. So as you can see, there's the chat feature. I'll just show you, like, we've already started a chat room, chat discussion, and now we're going to show you the share screen feature, because a lot of people use that. And so I'm going to show you some of the drawbacks of the share screen feature, because as you can see, it's decent, but if you look at the quality, you would have to definitely zoom in to sort of read some of the details of this lesson more closely. Whereas if you are on Zoom, you would definitely get a higher video screen sharing quality. So that is the limitations, but I think that is because Howdy is free for up to 25 people, and there isn't a real set time limit. You just have to set the time when you create your room. So you can see right now that this session, if we're actually having this lesson, I would have to zoom in, and that may or may not be feasible depending on each person's computer or browser. And so that can be kind of limiting when you're teaching, because especially something like coding, where you really need to be able to see the details of the syntax and the structure of a language and code, you need to be able to have that finite details up close. So that's sort of one of the main drawbacks. The other challenge is there is a generate question feature at the bottom. Now, it seems kind of fun, but the challenge with this is that they give you questions that you can sort of use to guide the discussion, but anytime you hit generate, it just gives you new questions, and they're all kind of like standard kind of questions and very general and not as specific. And so I think one of the feedback I would give Howdy is to add more types of questions in different categories beyond just, what's exciting about this course, what do you want to learn, why did you decide to take this course. And then the other limitation of this feature is that it's really just generated for the instructor, rather than sort of prompting on the screen to have this discussion as a live group. So now that you kind of see some of the features and how it works when you're having a live session, we're going to show you how it works when you decide to take your large group and split up into smaller groups. So if you see here, there is a join breakout room, and my students and I are going to have a small group session in room 1 on Gatsby. So I'll join room 1. And it's very seamless. It's very easy to sort of, if you have never done this before, you just click on join that breakout room, and I'll give you how many rooms that you can split up into. And then we can continue our conversation. We can resume our chat. We can then invite new people to join our room. And so it functions similarly as if you were in the main room. So I can give my students points, and then they can award me points. And it's really the idea, it's really making learning fun. It's making it more rewarding. It's not just showing up for another Zoom meeting or Zoom lesson. And then, so the last thing I want to show you is, now that you've seen the breakout room, we're all going to click back on to return to the main room, just to show you how easy it is to switch back and forth. So we're going to go back to the main room, and then I'll ask, are you done with this breakout session and you're ready to go back to the main room? And I'll say, I'm ready to return to my main room. And we've all returned to this main room again. And that's just to show you that it's really easy to sort of switch back and forth, and it's really great because you can, as an instructor, sort of pop into different rooms and check in on the conversation, check in how your students are doing, prompt them, motivate them, reward points. And so that's the other side of Howdy as an instructor when you're teaching live. The only other limitation and challenge to Howdy, besides the video screen sharing quality and the generate question, is really the user experience. While most of us are familiar with the idea of downloading the Zoom software, Howdy's intention of simplifying the experience by giving you one link may not always work for every person. So one person had to add the code at the end of the link into their window, and someone else had some trouble getting it. So with every kind of software, there's always the pros and cons and some limitations, but I think Howdy is really fun and exciting if you're looking to try something that is more cost effective and more suited for facilitating groups, because it allows you to set up breakout rooms. And it's really the idea of game-based learning by rewarding points and allowing you and your peers in a classroom to sort of track each other's progress. So that's the end of the demo. If you have any questions, leave a comment, feedback, give this video a like, subscribe, and thank you for watching.